Now to this breaking news in the investigation into materials seized from Mar-a-Lago. A judge today has granted a request from former President Trump's team to appoint a special master to review those materials. For more on this and what it means, we want to bring in Assistant U.S. Attorney Jeff Robbins, who served as the former chief counsel to the Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. Jeff, thanks for being with us on this holiday. We do appreciate it.
My pleasure, Phil.
So the DOJ has argued that it has already completed its own review of the materials and that this review would be completely unnecessary. The judge ultimately disagreed with that. Do you think the decision is right?
Well, I don't. But on the other hand, champagne corks are definitely popping in Mar-a-Lago right now because the judge, a Trump appointee in the last months of the Trump administration, it has to be said, has basically placed the Department of Justice investigation on ice and thrown sand in its gears, all in one 24-page order, by appointing a special master who can take weeks, months, who knows how long, to review all 11,000 or so items that were seized and make determinations on attorney-client privilege and here's a surprise, executive privilege. This is going to stop the Department of Justice in its tracks. It is actually forbidden from doing anything until this process, which, as I say, may take a long time, is completed. So it's a very good day for the Trump team and not such a good day for the Department of Justice.
All right, but not really out of left field. We heard that this judge was leaning in this direction. So what does this mean for the government's review? What can't they do? What can they do? Are they able to do anything during this time?
They really can't do anything, Phil, at risk of violating the court's order and placing the entire investigation in jeopardy. That is to say, if they really do anything directly or indirectly with what they have seized, they run the risk that evidence is going to be ruled inadmissible at any criminal prosecution of the former president. And so they are really required to put pencils down, and not just pencils, but everything else. So they're stopped in their tracks. A special master will be appointed sometime shortly after Friday of this week. And that special master, that individual, is going to have to take a very long time reviewing documents and essentially doing what the Department of Justice has already done all over, making its own report to the federal court. And then we may be in a Dickensian kind of a situation where litigation is spawned, which will keep this investigation on ice for quite a long time. Exactly what Team Trump wants, exactly what the Department of Justice does not.
Well, this may raise some eyebrows. The Trump team has until Friday, you mentioned Friday, to send their proposed list of special master candidates who they can request on that list. How does this work? I think a lot of people would be surprised that the Trump team gets to do that.
Well, according to the court order, both sides have to submit proposed candidates for the special master position, and then presumably the Judge Cannon, will make her decision, will choose somebody, and then there'll be procedures for that individual proceeding to review all of these documents. As I say, not only does that inject a potentially significant delay into the process, but it raises the question about whether or not there's going to be all sorts of litigation spawned on what constitutes attorney-client privilege, whether or not there's any claim to executive privilege, which would be a surprise under the existing law, but it's something the Trump team has pressed. And so you see what is happening is that nothing is going to happen for quite some time, exactly what the Department of Justice, which wanted to proceed expeditiously with this investigation, wanted to avoid. And that may leave them no choice but to appeal this to the 11th Circuit, the Court of Appeals that oversees this particular federal judge.
The former president and his allies on TV have been sowing doubt about this whole situation, calling the search at Mar-a-Lago a break-in. And they have been saying that this is completely politically motivated. So is there a benefit to having a special master here do a review of these materials? Can you find any benefit? In other words, if a special master looks at these materials and gives a decision that the former president doesn't like, at least it was a third party?
Well, you're very right. I mean, you're absolutely right, Phil. This actually is a process which could end up undercutting Trump team's claims that there's something nefarious that has occurred here. By the way, no evidence at all was presented to this federal court that suggested that the Department of Justice had done anything wrong. So that will not stop, of course, Team Trump from claiming otherwise. But you're right. It could be at the end of the day, if the special master says, yeah, there was nothing here that was out of line. This was plain vanilla, that will take the pins off of the Trump team's claim and actually support the Department of Justice's position. That is one scenario. But for the moment, you can expect to hear claims that this decision validated the criticism made of the Department of Justice, which it does not. It does, however, freeze things in their tracks.
And certainly lengthen the investigation. Jeff Robbins, thanks so much for taking the time this holiday. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Phil.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.